everybody, Sidej's here, coming back for a review. Big excited because the guy I'm reviewing today is one of my favourite ever characters. Well, he's in my top 5 anyway. And the character I'm going to be reviewing is Energon Omega Supreme. Look at the size of that. Reason I'm doing Energon Omega is because the only things that have survived over the 25 years I've had him of the original Omega Supreme for me is his torso and his arms. That's all I've got left. But I do intend, if I actually see a reissue in any of my collector shop nearby, I'm buying him because he is actually the one G1 toy I am so badly after. I've always been a fan of Omega since he appeared in G1. And when I found out when I saw this figure was coming out, it was a no-brainer for me. I was rushing to the store and buying this guy. Okay, so this is Omega Supreme in his land train mode, and he's absolutely massive as hell in this mode. One thing I will say is these two sections, as you can tell by the different color jobs, will actually break into two different sections. They're held together by two tiny little clips which are actually in here, and it holds the weight. Look, the ratchet joint would prefer to bend than this clip, and it's not hard. It's not exactly like a mega long clip, because watch, I can pull it apart quite easily and just plug it back in. Look, it's just a tiny little clip on the front. Okay, let's break Omega down into his sections, which I gotta say is pretty faithful to his G1, because the original Omega Supreme wasn't technically a transformer. Yes, his torso transformed into a tank, but most of him, actually you disassembled him and then reassembled him into a different mode, i.e. his base station. And the Energon Omega Supreme does pretty much the same thing. Half of his body becomes this battleship, and the other half of his body becomes this sort of like all-terrain construction vehicle, which actually is pretty cool. And also, this Omega Supreme is a headmaster, and this is Omega. Zoom in on him, and this will form Omega Supreme's head. And actually, his molding in that is very, very faithful homage to the original G1 toy, and it is very, very nice. Also, he's got arm articulation, knee articulation. His legs will go forward but not back. And actually, it's a very, very nice. He's on a bit bigger than a Minicom, but he's a really, really nice little figure. Let me just resume. Okay, let's go on to the easier of the two. His construction component. Again, a lot of detailing, and actually very, very, very long vehicle. He comes with a small, sort of like three little maintenance arms on this rotating turret. This big frame section does actually rotate, and as you can see, he's got lovely hydraulic detailing. And he's also got a little gimmick in this one, which is this button here. You push it in, and it goes out like that. Very, very nice. There's also a compartment there for the Omega head module to sit in. Very nice. There's a lot to cover on this figure, so that's why I'm doing it a bit rushed. This is his battleship, which is better, much, much better of the two components. Very, very like Japanese anime. I could actually picture this thing more flying in space than actually being on the ocean. It's got a lot of nice detailing on his comm towers. He's got loads of turrets. He's got his rear black shooting turrets there. And his front turrets, there's a little wheel here. There's a little wheel on... which side is it? There. And when you turn the wheel, all the front guns turn. And the cool thing is, they've actually molded in the wheel on the other side to give it symmetry, which is very cool. He did have lights and sounds, which, if you push this button here, you got a sort of blaster noise, and these will form his main gun arm, and all these would blast out. He also comes with a cockpit, which you saw in the other mode, where actually the Omega head module sits. Okay, before I show you robot mode, in the show, in the show Energon, each of these components had different functions. They became basically they could become gun stations for the Autobots to man. And this is the battleships configuration. And yeah, it's sort of like a little tacked-on mode that Hasbro are known for. It's got a couple of grips which actually Superior Maximus or Super Optimus Prime can actually hold on to fire. Weakest of the two of these battle stations is, of course, the construction section, which is supposed to be something like that. Like I said, he's also got hand grips. Again, it's a sort of like little tacked-on mode. Okay, to get his big-ass robot mode, just to show you it in its entirety, let's turn the battleship back. In battleship mode, you want to take the command tower, lift it, and rotate it back. Peg it back in, then rotate the comm tower. You then want to stretch out this whole assembly. Like I said, this guy's got a lot of tight ratchets on it. Bring down the front, bring it down again. So there we have half the body. Change it back, so start from default. This section's very, very easy to transform. All you do is you turn the leg that way, fold out the foot. Oh, and we bring out this section, which was actually tucked inside here. And then these two halves will all peg together, rather securely. So that's his body. You can see this guy's very, very big. And also one little thing to note. I have to bring my head up. This guy's just so huge. This is the port where the Omega head module will connect. But if you ever lose it, if you pull up on the connector, see the little eyes? And that actually has full articulation, so it's like a backup head for him. So let me just refocus. And next, take your Omega module, like a standard headmaster, fold the legs back, the antenna up, and then fold it up. And I'll use this to give you a real good, really G1 inspired head. Very, very nice. Out of all headmasters, he is my second favourite next to Fort Max's Cerebros. I do really like this. And this just pegs on the top, and he's also has one thing no other headmaster has, which is he has head articulation. But this is him in his robot mode, and he is very impressive. Height-wise, he is on the same scale as Armada Unicron. So this makes him one of he is the second tallest Autobot transformer there is under Fort Max. Articulation. His legs will go forward, his legs will go back, he will bend at the knee. Arms have full 360. They rotate at the elbow, bend at the elbow. Hands open and close. It doesn't stand too well, primarily because his feet can't go together. But he is a really, really nice figure. It does his G1 namesake very, very proud. He does power link with Energon Optimus Prime. I won't show you that now, primarily because I want to save something for when I do an Energon Prime review when I get around to it. Would I recommend this guy? Yeah, he's a good figure. He's huge. He's a very impressive figure to have on the shelf. Out of the Unicron trilogy, it's nice to have something that's on scale with Unicron, so Unicron isn't dominating everything. Yeah, definitely pick him up. Okay, this is Sajays and Omega Supreme saying have a good day, have a good evening, wherever the time is. Make sure you're having a good one, and I'll catch you later.